Hello learners, we are here with some very interesting questions on mathematics which are more of real life based or which have their context in real life. So these questions are inspired from the practice assessment test which was recently conducted by Kendra Vidyalayas. So it was practice assessment number 5 which is being done for the uh, final stage which is our PISA 2021. So what is PISA? PISA is a program for international student assessment and it used to happen after every 2 years, that is in the third year. For example, it is being conducted from since 2003 and the last exam was conducted in 2018. So the coming year, which is 2021, will be the next assessment, and India is one of the participant in 2021. So earlier India participated in 2009 PISA, now they are participating in PISA 2021. So PISA basically focuses on three aspects, which is reading literacy, mathematical literacy, and scientific literacy. So here we are going to discuss question related to mathematical literacy only, which was asked in practice assessment number 5. So let's start with the questions. So basically this time the paper was divided into different units. So I am taking up the mathematical units which were there in the paper. So there were total 5 units related to mathematics, and these units have a real life connotations with the application of mathematics. So you will find that you are applying mathematics somewhere down the line in a real context. So and these are the units which were there in this paper. So the unit 2 was on equable shapes. We understand what is the idea of equable shapes. There were 2 questions from this unit. There were 3 questions from unit parcel by courier. There were 2 questions from entertainment fair. There were 2 questions from garment store, and there were 1 question which was based on smart deal. So let's straight away start with the questions, and we'll start unit 2 first. So unit 2 was about equable shapes. So what is the idea of an equable shape? An equable shape, so this is a term which we have given to a kind of shape. Like for example, we say that triangles which are having a angle 90 degree are called right angle. So what will be the equable shape? There is one characteristic which they have to follow. So what is the characteristic? The characteristic is that they are supposed to have same numerical perimeter and area. So this is the main catch. So the numerical value of perimeter and area, when it is equal, then these shapes are called equable shapes. So what are to be equal? The perimeter and area. See, the numerical value only. We cannot say that perimeter and area are equal, because when we say perimeter and equal area are equal, then we are disobeying the law of dimensions. Like for example, perimeter is related to one dimensional space, where we count the distance and the whole distance of the periphery of any shape, and area is the space covered by any shape. So area is a two-dimensional thing, and perimeter is regarding one dimension. So we are talking about when any shape has perimeter and area equal, when their numerical value is same. So the question 11, which focus on which one of the following is an equable shape? Choose the correct answer. So you are given with shape A and shape B. You can see this shape A is a rectangle whose length is 4.5 and breadth is 3.6 and length is 4.5. Another shape B, which is a triangle, it has a base 6 units and height is 4 unit. I'm not saying any centimeter or meter. These are simple units which is given. So let's start calculating perimeter and area for both the shapes. So let's start for figure A, so that we can see that what is so we can see the figure A is a rectangle. So we know perimeter is sum of all its sides. So we'll sum up and we'll see that the answer is 6.2. So the answer is 6.2 units. Now the area of rectangle is length into breadth. So we will see the 3.6, which is length, 4.5, which is breadth. We will multiply them, you will get 16.20. So we can see that 16.2 and 16.20 are equal. So the answer can be figure A, or we can have answer C, which is both figure A and B. But for this we need to calculate perimeter and area for figure B. Now figure B is a triangle. So we can see that we have a base 6 and height is 4. So we can easily calculate the area by using length into breadth. But what about the perimeter? So we have this side as 6. What about this side and this side? We don't have these values. So but we can see that this triangle A, B and C is a right angle triangle. So we can use Pythagoras theorem. So students who are not aware about Pythagoras theorem, let me tell you that the idea of Pythagoras theorem says in a right angle triangle. So this is right angle triangle, it is 90 degrees. So ABC is a right angle triangle. So in this case, the longest side, which is AC, the square of this longest side is equals to the sum of square of other two sides, which is AB square and BC square. So what I mean to say is uh, that in triangle ABC, AC square is equals to AB square plus BC square. So you know that what I talked about were this was A, this was B and C. So we are calculating AC, which is equals to AB square, which is 4 ka square plus 3 ka square, it is equals to 25, and you will get the square root of 25, which will give you AC equals to 5 unit. Now you have this is 5 unit, this is 5 unit, and this is 6 unit. So you can now calculate easily what will be the perimeter. So from here we can see that the perimeter will be this 6 plus 5 plus 5, which is sum of all sides, this is equals to 16 unit, and the area will be half base into height. So you can say that this is the base of this triangle and this is the height of this triangle. So you get half base, which is 6 unit, and into height, which is 4 unit. Up when you calculate this, and you'll get 12 square unit. So you see the perimeter is 16 unit and area is 12 unit. So these are not equal. So here perimeter is not equals to area. In which case? In case of shape B. So shape B is not an equable shape, but shape A is an equable shape, because we got 16.2 unit as perimeter and 16.20 unit as square units as area. So we can easily say that the answer is this, figure A. So for question 11, the answer is figure A. Now we can move to the next question, which is question number 12, which is based on the same idea. So let's move to the next question, which is question number 12. So what it is asking, if the given rectangle is an equable shape. So they've given us that given rectangle is equable shape. So what is the value of y? So when straight away when we know that this is an equable shape, so we know that perimeter will be equals to area. So we can easily show perimeter equals to area. So we'll take perimeter is equals to area, which is equals to, so perimeter of rectangle is twice of length plus breadth, which is, and the area is equals to length into breadth. So you will keep now you will put the values. So we have put the values. So what are the values? We can see easily that y is the length and y is the breadth and 10 is the length. So you can interchangeably use them. So now twice of y plus 10 is equals to y into 10. So now you solve the equation. So 2y plus 2 will go to y first, then 2 go to 10, then 2y plus 20 is equals to 10y. Done the equation. Then 2y is taken to the this side, right hand side. So it will be plus 2y will become minus 2y. So on solving you get 20 equals to 8y. Now 8 will go in division. So y is equals to 20 divided by 8. So what will you get? this will be equals to 2.5 units, so which is answer C. Now we will move to next question, which is based on another unit. Now unit 3 was parcel by courier. So the Zland, so we can read the question. So in Zland, couriering a parcel cost, there are two conditions for costing any parcel. So if you are placing any parcel, or for example you deliver or you send some packets to your friend, so you know that there are two different type of charges. For example, the way charge, for example, what is the amount, the amount will be charged per kg. For example, your lot is suppose 10 kg, so you will have to pay certain amount for every kg. And there's another fixed charge which is called courier charges, service charge. There are many different charges. So in Zland, what happens is 3.25 Zs is the currency which is being used in Zland. So Zland is an hypothetical land. So it's a country where, or a place where the criteria for parcel is this, that they will charge 3.25 Zs per kg, and they will charge 5 Zs. This is a fixed charge, and this fixed charge is for service. So now you have to find a generalized relationship. So you have to find a correct relationship between these variables. So if they'll say that C is the cost, so C is the cost for couriering, then what will be the common formula or generalized formula? If I am sending a weight W, an amount here, if you see that if I am sending item weighs W, so for this we can see so courier charge will be, what will the courier charge? The courier charge will be weight into per kg cost plus fixed amount. So I told you before that fixed amount is, what is the fixed amount? Fixed amount is 5 Zs, and per kg charge is 3.25. So W amount of weight is being sent, so cost, which is C, the courier charge, will be 3.25, which is per kg weight, multiply by W plus the fixed amount. What is the fixed amount? 5 Zs, because initially they have told you that 5 Z is the fixed amount. So the cost will be 3.25 multiplied by W plus 5 Zs, which is the fixed amount which is supposed to be paid as a pickup service charge or either sending charge. So they have said that this is a fixed pickup service charge. So this is the generalized formula, which is C equals to 3.25 W plus 5. So we can see that equation B is similar. C equals to 5 plus 3.25 multiplied by W. W is the weight of the courier which is being sent, or any gift which is being sent. Now let's move to the another question, which is question number 14. So what is question number 14? If Shailaja has paid 57 Zs, so how much amount she has paid? She has paid 57 Z. So she has paid 57 Zs. The weight of her parcel was. So now they're asking you what is the weight of the parcel. So now you have to calculate the weight of the parcel. So we know from the earlier question, which was question number 13, that cost of courier was in relation to the weight which we are sending. So we were sending W amount of weight, and we were being charged 3.25 per kg, and 5 rupees was the fixed charge. So we can easily see that here C is equals to this equation we have derived earlier in question number 13. Now the amount Shailaja has paid is 57 for her parcel. So this is the 57 amount which she has paid. So now C is replaced with 57. So C is being replaced with 57. So in a question, so here, so C is being replaced with 57. Now the 5 will change its place and go to left hand side, and the equation remains the same. So 57 minus 5 will give you 52, which is equal to 3.25 into W. The next step is 52 is divided by 3.25, which is equals to W. So now from here you can go with the approximation also. Like, don't see like that this is 3.25. Don't get afraid with such calculation. You can easily calculate that 52 divided by 3, it is nearly, where are you going, it is nearly 16 times, because 16 threes is 48. That is, if you divide 52 by 3, you are near about 16. So you can, on approximation, you also see that this is around 16. So on calculation you will see that the value will be around 16. So you can go with this hefty calculation, like 52, 325 in denominator and 100 goes in numerator. So W is 16. So 16 kg of weight was sent by Shailaja in lieu of 52Z. So she wanted to send a 16 kg weight or parcel to her friend's place, for which she was charged 57 Zs. So 57 Zs was charged by Shailaja from Shailaja by the courier company. So now let's move to the next question, which is question number 15. So this is an interesting question where Iqbal and Cherian and Rahul are close friends. So on Rahul's birthday, Iqbal sent him a photo frame, and Cherian sent him a chess. So Cherian sent him a chess set. So Rahul को दो गिफ्ट मिले हैं. One is photo frame from Iqbal and another is chess set from Cherian. So there is an interesting relationship between the weight of frame and chess. So what are they saying? The weight of photo frame was 4 kg more than that of the chess. So which is heavier? The photo frame was 4 kg more than that of chess. So this statement tell us that photo frame was 4 kg more than that of chess set. So chess set was 4 kg less. You can say this, or either you can say that photo frame was 4 kg more than chess. So how much more did Iqbal pay for couriering his parcel than Cherian? So you can calculate it for both the people. So let's start doing it. So first we'll calculate for Cherian. So she is gifting a chess set. So let us assume that the weight of chess set was x kg. So cost will be 3.25 into x plus 5. So 3.25 is as per the weight, and 5 is the fixed charge which is to be charged, which is the pickup charge in the Z land. So the cost is 3.25 x plus 5. Now what happens in case of Iqbal? Iqbal gifted a photo frame. The photo frame was heavier. In the initial statement, we saw that photo frame was 4 kg more. So we'll say that weight of photo frame is 4x plus 4 kg. So now we'll replace W where the weight is, so 3.25 multiplied by x plus 4, the whole bracket, plus 5. So the whole weight is x plus 4 times. So the equation will become, the cost will become 3.25 into x, and then 3.25 is multiplied by 4. So this 3.25 once multiplied by x and then multiplied by 4. So this will give you 3.25 x plus 13 plus 5. So this will give you 3.25 x plus 18. So now from these two values you can easily compare and say, you can easily say that 3.25 and 3.25 is common. So what is being increasing? She is giving extra 5, Cherian is giving extra 5 rupees, and here she is giving 18 rupees extra. So what is the extra amount? So it is clearly visible the extra amount is 13 rupees or 13 Zs. So this will be your answer, or you can calculate by getting the difference. So what you can do is you can calculate the difference. So difference of cost is, this cost was from this cost is of Cherian, and this cost is of Iqbal, and this was the cost which is paid by Cherian for the parcel. So the cost is finally 13Z. One another interesting way to look at it is the whole cost was dependent only on the weight of the parcel. So see how much Iqbal is paying. You easily calculate from the weight extra he's sending. For example, how much extra weight Iqbal was sending? Iqbal was sending 4 kg extra. So it means he has to pay 4 the extra cost for 4 kg. So we know that 3.25 is per kg cost. Then for 4 kg he has to pay 3.25 into 4, which is equals to 13 z's. So it is as simple as that. So basic understanding can also help you. So 4 kg is to be paid as per the kg cost. So don't worry about it. So you can do it directly as well. Now let's move to the next question. Now this is the interesting. So this is the fourth unit in which I was telling you that there were two questions from this unit. So this is called entertainment fair. So you can read it at your own or you can read it with me. Malvika visits an entertainment fair in Zland. So again, Zland is a hypothetical place. So there is a person called Malvika. She went to fair. So fair is a mela. So where various gaming companies have set up their stalls with lots of games. Uh, there is guidelines to be followed at entertainment fairs. When they are giving you some guidelines, so you have to be aware that question is giving you some conditions. So when there are some conditions, you have to follow these conditions and keep these conditions until this unit completes. For example, all the questions of unit 4 will be based on these rules. So let us read the rule. The first rule is there is only one cash counter which is located near the entrance to the fair. So there is one cash counter जहाँ से आप सब cash का लेना देना होगा. So no cash is allowed at any stall. So if you want to play, you cannot pay them. So you have to follow protocol. You cannot play by cash. You have to play by cards. So player can pay from game for the games using gold cards. So the cost of gold card is again 20 z's और सिल्वर कार्ड्स का कॉस्ट कितना है? इट इज़ 10 जेड. ऑब्वियसली गोल्ड इज केप्ट एज एक्सपेंसिव विच इज़ 20 जेड एंड सिल्वर कार्ड्स इज ऑफ what 10 z's. Now the third rule, player can purchase the cards as many as they want only from the cash counter. From where you can buy them only from the cash counter, as many as card you can. A player can use either a silver card or a golden card to play any game once. किसी भी गेम को खेलने के लिए आप एक बार कोई भी एक कार्ड यूज़ कर सकते हैं, ईदर सिल्वर or golden card. If a player wins a game played using a silver card, now here comes some interesting facts. If a player play a game using a silver card, the silver card will be replaced with a golden card. See, if a player wins a game, he is playing and he has won, but he played the game using a silver card, then the silver card will be replaced with a golden card. Like you gave him a silver card, instead of silver card now you get a golden card because you have won. Another rule, if a player wins a game playing using a golden card, if you have a golden card and you're playing the game and you win this time, so you will get in return what? The golden card will be returned to the player. Golden card तो मिलेगा, but साथ में you will get a new silver card will be given to you. Both the gold and silver card can be used for further games, and now these cards can be used for further games. However, if the player loses a game, the card used for the game will be forfeited. मतलब अगर आप हार जाते हैं तो your card will not be returned to you, so you will lose your card. Player can obtain cash refund for their cards at the cash counter. The refund value of silver so 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 the refund value for silver card will be, so let's go back. So I think we cannot see it. So the refund value of silver card is 8 z's and for the golden card it is 18 z's. So this is the fixed amount which will be returned when you will return your cards. So let's move to the next what they are saying. Now what Malvika did? Malvika paid 30 zits, bought one golden card and one silver card. Obviously 20 she has paid for golden card and 10 bucks or 10 zits for silver card. So now she have two cards. She used both the cards in the first stall and won both the games. See, she played two games at stall number 1 and she won both the games using both the cards. She did not want to repeat playing in the same stall. Now she has moved to another stall. Now she took all the cards she got from first stall and used them in the second stall. She won all the games in the second stall too. She used all the cards which she won from first stall in the second stall to play the games, and even in the second stall she won all the games. She again took all the cards she got from there and used all of them in the third stall. Now she is using her cards in the third stall. She continued this in the subsequent stall. So again in third stall she won the game. Now question number 16 is asking, if Malvika won every game she played, the number of cards of each type she will have with her when she come out from the third stall are. Now they want to ask you the number of card she has when she is leaving from stall number 3. So let's start. So at counter what happened with her? She bought two cards. One was gold, one was silver. And what happened when she played it stall 1? She used both the card. She gave golden card and won. When she was using golden card, so she won. So what she got? In return, she got her golden card back, but she also earned a new silver card. So now she has golden card and a silver card when she is leaving from stall number 1 after winning, and her silver card which she used at stall number 1 for playing was replaced with golden card. So now when she left the stall number 1, she already had one golden two golden and one silver card. Now she has used these three cards. Now she has three cards. She will be using these three cards on stall number 2 to play. Now she has won all the games at stall number 2 also. When she is leaving stall number 2, when she is leaving stall number 2, but when she played with the help of golden card, she get her golden card and she won. She got her golden card back and also got one new silver card in that game. She used silver card for playing at second stall and she again won it. So the silver card was replaced with golden. When she was using golden card for playing at stall number 2, so in return what she got? One golden card which was her, she got it back, and in return she also get a silver card. She has earned a silver card. So now she is using how many? 1, 2, 3 golden cards and 2 silver card at stall number, which stall? At stall number 3. Now we have to calculate when she left stall number 3 what happened to her. How many cards she has. So let's see. Now when she used golden card and she played and she won, the golden card back and one extra silver card. So these are the two conditions. These are the two conditions. What happened with silver card when she is playing with silver card? It is replaced with golden because she is winning all the games. Now she has used this golden card at stall number 3. So what will she receive from stall number 3? One golden which is her own and one extra silver. Now she is using this golden card. She will get one golden back and one extra silver. Now she is using this silver to play the game. She will get a golden card back. So finally, how many golden are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she got 5 golden card. And how many silver card? 1, 2, 3. 3 silver cards. So option A is the right answer. So this is about combination. So how you make combination. So it is not that tough. If you will try, you can. So just visualize the scene. Try to be Malvika. You can easily understand how this mechanism is working. Now next move to the next question. In this question, the amount of money she will get if she redeems all the cards she has after visiting the fourth stall. condition that she wins all games in the fourth stall as well. Now we made a chart for three stalls. Now we can extend our three stall chart to the fourth stall as well. So this is the chart. So what we can see here, if you'll count, there are around 8 golden card and 5 silver cards. So for 8 golden card, for every golden card you will get a return value of 18, and for every silver card you will get a return amount of 8 z's. So you can solve it easily. Here. So this is for golden, this is for silver. So the cost is, on multiplying 8 into 18, we will get 144, and 8 5s are 40. So the sum up to 184 z's. So option C is the right answer. So in this manner you can do it easily. Now move to the next unit, which was unit 5, garment store. So two questions are based on this. So it's a very interesting question. So you have to be you have to understand that how many permutation combinations are possible in this sort of question. So you can read it your own, or you can read it with me. Leela went to a garment store with her son. She wanted to buy an outfit for him. In the garment store, she found two type of shirts. There are two type of shirt. First is formal and denim. There are three choices for formal and four choices for denim. So there are three formal shirts and there are four denims in the shop. So you can easily calculate how many total shirts are there. There are 7 shirts. Now how many jeans are there? There are two types of jeans. There are jeans and formals. There are two types of pants. So one are jeans and other is formal. So with two choices for each, two choices of each कहने का मतलब there are two jeans and there are two formals. So how many pants are there? There are total 4 pants. So the best way to understand how to make combinations. So question number 18 is trying to ask if any shirt can be worn with any pair of pants, the number of ways Lena can select an outfit for her son. So let us understand. So these are, suppose that there are 7 shirts. So the total shirts are 7. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G are the shirts. So we have named them. So how many pants are there? There are 4 pants. Suppose W, X, Y, Z. So W, X are suppose jeans and Y, Z are formals. In a similar way, A, B, C are formals and D, E, F, G are we can say denims. So what are the possible pairs? Now see it carefully. You can wear this B, which is a formal shirt, with Y. You can wear it with X, you can wear it with Y, you can wear it with Z. So you can wear shirt A with any of the pant. So how many pairs, how many pair are here? 4. For B you can have again W, X, Y, Z. Again for B you have how many choices? 4. In similar way for C, D, E, F, G, for all of them you have 4, 4, 4, 4, 4 choices. So 4 for A, 4 for B, 4 for C, 4 for D, 4 for E, 4 for F, 4 for G. So 4 is repeating how many times? 4 is repeating 7 times. So this will result in 7 4s are 28. So there are total 28 choices. So this is called combinations. This is the way of making possible combinations. This comes with the rules of multiplication. So that's why we say multiplication is repeated addition. So you are the possibility of 4 is repeating how many times? 7 times, because every shirt can be worn with 4 types of pant. Shirt A can be worn in the same way, B can be worn in the same way, C can be worn in the same way. So in this manner you can see this happens. So 4 into 7, which gives you 28. Now move to next question, which is based on the same idea, garments. So Lena decided to select either a formal shirt with a pair of formal pants. Now she want to wear formal shirts with formal pants, denim shirts with jeans. Now remember, how many formal shirts were there? How many formal shirts? Let's go back and see. There were 3 formal shirts and 4 denims. So we have 3 formal shirts. So we have 3 formal shirts multiply by how many pants? 2 pants. So this give you 6 combinations. What about the other combination where she want to wear denim shirts with jeans? So how many denims were there? Denim shirts were 4, jeans were 2. So 4 2s are 8. So how many choices you have? You have 14 choices. So 14 is the correct answer. So let us see the solution once. So this is the possible combinations, shirts and pants. So this is the combination for 3 shirts and pants which I've told you. So in this way another will be 4 into 2. So you will finally get 18 as your answer. Now let's move to the final unit, which is called smart deal. So smart deal is talking about a pizza shop. So a shopkeeper sells pizzas by the slices charging rupees 50 per slice. So कोई भी आप slice उठा लीजिए पिज़्ज़ा का, it will charge 50 rupees per slice. He has 2 type of pizzas, one round with 30 centimeter diameter divided into 10 pieces. Another pizza shape is of square and with side 30 centimeter, which is divided into 12 pieces. So try to understand that circular pizza is divided into 10 pieces and the square pizza is divided in how many pieces? 12 pieces. Now Anjana bought the slice of round pizza and Sanjana opted for square slice. So who got the better deal? Now in order to understand the better deal, we understand the what portion they are getting. When I'm talking about the portion, so it is taking in consideration the area of the given shaped pizza. So let us try and understand in both the cases what happens. So circular pizza, let's start with circular pizza. So the diameter is 30 centimeters, the radius is 15. So area of the whole pizza is pi r square. We know is the area of circle is given by pi r square. So we'll use pi 22.7 and radius is 15 into 15. Square unit is the whole area. But what amount of pizza is taken by Anjana? 1/10. There were 10 pieces, she is taking only one out of that. So 1/10 part of whole pizza. So 1 by 10 into area of whole pizza. So 1 by 10 into 22.7 into 15 into 15. So approximately the answer will be 70.71 centimeter square. So 70.71 centimeter square is the piece which Anjana has. Now what about Sanjana? So Sanjana chose it from the square slice. So length of the side is 30 centimeter. We know that the area of pizza, which is a square shaped through which it will be side into side. So 30 into 30 centimeter square. We are not calculating it right now here because we know when we'll calculate further, so that can be simplified. So now how much Sanjana opted? One piece out of how many pieces? 12. So 1 by 12 किसका 1 by 12? 1 by 12 of area of whole pizza. पूरे पिज़्ज़ा का 1/12 उसने लिया है. So 1/12 portion of the whole pizza. So 1 by 12 of 30 into 30. So 30 upon 30 divided by 12, which is approximate, which is equals to 75. Now you can easily see from here that the values are 70.71, 75. Clearly the piece of the square slice is more by how many? This approximately 71. So the difference between them is around 4 centimeter square. So who got more pizza? Obviously Sanjana. So A or C can be the answer, but Sanjana is getting approximately 4 centimeter square extra. So this is the final answer of this question. So I hope you like the videos. Thanks for being patient, and if you have any query you can mail me at my mail ID, and hope to see you again with some more interesting question I'll be posting regarding pizza. Have a good day.